Hello, nerds, geeks, and everybody else. Welcome back to MaïTalking. Now, I know it's been a while since I have made a video. A lot has happened. Anyways, that's not important. Now, I thought that for this particular video, I would make an episode on the Valonqar theory in A Song of Ice and Fire. The Valonqar prophecy is probably one of the most famous and debated, if I can say it like that, prophecies in a whole Song of Ice and Fire. I'm sorry, I keep looking there because it's my fan. I'm afraid of it turning off because we're having a heat wave in France. Yay, great. Anyways, this is a fortune told by Maggie the Frog to Cersei Lannister when she's around 11 years old, probably 10 years old. And now I have made some notes around here, so that's why I'm gonna look about here for a second. Here's the prophecy as it appears in A Feast of the Crows. Cersei asks if she shall be queen someday, to which Maggie the Frog answers, "Queen you shall be, until there comes another, younger, more beautiful, to cast you down and take all you hold dear." Then Cersei asks, "Will the king and I have children?" To which Maggie replies, "Oh aye, 6 and 10 for him, and 3 for you." And later she adds, "Gold shall be their crowns and gold their shrouds." And finally, after Cersei nervously asks, "When will she die?" That's when Maggie says, "When your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life from you." Now, Cersei is told this prophecy when she's a child of 10 years old, and she spends her entire life trying to avoid it. Basically, there is a little bit more to which Maggie says to Cersei in this particular prophecy. She says, for example, like I've put this note right here because I thought it was important. Maggie the Frog's prophecy in the books, she tells to Cersei's friend who came with her to Maggie the Frog's her home. She tells to her friend Melara after she asks if she will marry Jaime Lannister, to which Maggie the Frog answers later on, "Your death is here tonight, little one. Can you smell her breath? She is very close." What the hell? That fucking gave me chills. What? Oh, come on. And later in Feast, we actually learn that from Cersei's perspective, that she literally said she soon fell down a well and drowned, and if they never spoke and she adds, if they never spoke about the prophecies, they would not come true. And she adds, I just want to point that out because I think that's a very important thing to point out, because this might have been Cersei's very first murder at 10 years old. What? She was not so silent in the well though. She screamed and shouted. And also, this line, Melara's Etherspoon's accusing eyes. Like, this must have been Cersei's, yeah, this was Cersei's first murder at 10 years old. What? No. This is so effed up. Like, no. She must have, like, pushed Melara down the well and let her literally die because she was afraid that Melara would talk about the prophecy. If they never spoke about the prophecies, they would not come true. So she literally killed Melara out of fear of this damned prophecy. but that was her own choice to ask about the prophecy. So anyways, I made other notes around here. One of George R. R. Martin's favorite themes is that prophecies often come true because people try so damn hard to avoid them. Now, what does Valonqar mean? In High Valyrian, Valonqar means little brother. Now, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Valonqar, Valonqar, Valonqar. I don't know. I say Valonqar because that's literally how it's spelled. So yeah, whatever. And that particular word, Valonqar, which means little brother in High Valyrian, like I said, has literally fueled decades of fan speculating on who Maggie is speaking about, because she never points out whose little brother will turn out to kill Cersei, because she doesn't say to Cersei, your Valonqar, your little brother will kill you. She just says the Valonqar. So that could be so many people, like I've noted here. It could be Cersei's little own little brothers, because in the book she has two little brothers. Tyrion, obviously, which is the main candidate for this prophecy, basically, but also Jaime. They may be twins, but he's technically her little brother because he was born right after her. Cersei came out of the womb first. So yeah, and it could also be someone else, someone else's younger brother, a metaphorical younger brother, someone born second, even a twin born moments later. I noted that. Like I said earlier, what it meant, but I'm going to say it again. Jaime is Cersei's little brother, and honestly, I do believe that George R. R. Martin leaves this particular part of the prophecy ambiguous for us to discover what's gonna happen. So yeah. Now the prophecy line by line, queen you shall be until there comes another, younger and more beautiful. This part has come true. Cersei becomes queen after marrying Robert Baratheon. Now the mystery about this is who is the younger, more beautiful queen. Many candidates apply to this particular prophecy. The main one, which Cersei believes it is Marjorie Tyrell. She basically destroys her own power, her own status, everything in her life. She destroys everything. She arms the faith militants. She has the walk of shame. She gets imprisoned by the faith after trying to make Marjorie get imprisoned by the faith for adultery. She even tortures a poor bard who has done nothing, like the blue bard in the books. This scene literally made me, like, at the end, he's missing teeth, he's missing a nipple, he's missing, if I'm correct, he's missing an eye. This was so effed up. Like, I want to curse so bad at this because this was so diabolical. This was... I cannot believe Cersei's done this. Now, I'm not surprised that Qyburn would do that kind of thing, because I believe that if the Citadel took away his chain, there was a reason for it, obviously. He's messed up. He's a messed up character, and we know that he's done some experiments on women. The other candidates for the younger and more beautiful queen could, in my opinion, it would be Daenerys Targaryen, but that seems a little obvious. I don't know. It could also be Sansa Stark, even though Sansa Stark is not a queen, at least not yet. In Sansa's sample chapter in The Winds of Winter, we finally see how smart Sansa is. Sansa. Yeah, that's Sansa. Not Sansa. She is so smart. She's so politically and so like this particular chapter blew my mind away to see how much Sansa has changed from this innocent little girl who believes that life is a song, that all nights are perfect, that princes are perfect, that life is like a song. And yeah, honestly, she became a character that I deeply admire. Yeah, so I could see her become Queen of the Vale at some point. Not Queen of the North, like in the show. I don't see that happening at all. Not at all. No, 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 no. Anyways, it could also be another candidate for this prophecy could also be Arianne Martell. She's literally a princess of Dorne. And it could also be Brienne of Tarth, but symbolically, because in the books, she doesn't look like Gwendolyn Christie at all. I think that's that Gwendolyn Christie, no matter how good she was, great. Like, she was amazing as Brienne of Tarth, but she's not ugly. Like, she is a beautiful woman, and it is said in the books that Brienne is incredibly ugly. That's why people called her when she was younger, Brienne the Beauty, to mock her, to make a mockery out of her, because she is far from a beauty. She basically has the body of a man. She's taller than most men. Yeah, like, but it is said in the books that she has beautiful eyes. So, and also a line that just came back to me right now, I didn't note it in my notes. A line that comes back to me is during Jamie's weirwood fever dream. Now, when he says, "In this light, she could almost be a beauty. In this light, she could almost be a knight." This line really resonates with me. I think it's really important. This line is really important. Even though it's a dream, it doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, like I noted, Cersei becomes increasingly obsessed with Marjorie Tyrell. Yeah, like I said, Cersei becomes very obsessed with Marjorie Tyrell because she believes she is the fulfillment of the younger, more beautiful queen, part of the prophecy that will cast her down and take all she holds dear. And ironically, that obsession with Marjorie contributes to Cersei's own downfall and to destroy her own position in King's Landing. So yeah. And to continue with the prophecy, it says 6 and 10 for him and 3 for you. This is completely done. Like, this has happened. Robert has fathered many known and unknown bastards. I think so far in the books we know 12 of them. 12 bastards, including Maya Stone, Gendry, obviously. There are many. The baby, that's Cersei or Joffrey. I don't know which one of them it was. Apparently it was Cersei, but I have my doubts about this particular, I don't know. The baby that is killed with his mother. And Cersei has exactly 3 children, Joffrey Baratheon, Myrcella Baratheon, and Tommen Baratheon. All, of course, secretly fathered by Jaime. Now, these parts get tricky. It has basically two meanings. Gold shall be their crowns. Literally that all three of them are or are destined to become royalty. That's literal. And figuratively, it could be that they all possess Lannister golden hair. I don't know. But yeah. But I do know that George R. R. Martin loves prophecies, with double meanings. So, who knows? And the part gold their shrouds. This predict that all of Cersei's children will die and she would outlive all of them. Because in the books, Joffrey is dead. Myrcella is gravely injured, but still alive by A Dance of Dragons. I'm doing a reread of A Dance of Dragons right now, so I can tell you she's still alive in A Dance of Dragons. And Tommen is still king. But many readers believe that Myrcella and Tommen will end up dead by the end of either Winds of Winter or A Dream of Spring. I don't know. I have no idea. We will see if we get those books ever. We will see. And there is this part, when your tears have drowned you, because Cersei loses her father, Joffrey, probably Myrcella, probably Tommen. She loses Jaime, at least emotionally, and her power, which are all super important things to her. Her children and her power are things that she considers the most important in her life, basically. Yeah, like I've noted, this prophecy suggests that Cersei will suffer unbearable grief before her death. And then the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat. Now, this is the biggest mystery. Notice how Maggie specifically says hands. Now, when you think about hands, you think obviously about Jaime. But it made me think about something else. It personally made me think about the necklace that Tyrion made for Shay. Yeah, it is made of hands. And there is this part where Jaime says that he wants to strangle a woman with a seashell necklace. I think this is important to remember. And like I said, notice how Maggie specifically says hands, not poison, not wildfire, not swords. Now, the biggest Valonqar theories are that Jaime is the most popular candidate to kill Cersei. That's my choice of interpretation of the prophecy. Yeah, like the evidence that I've wrote. He already killed Aerys II, the Mad King, one mad ruler, which Cersei increasingly resembles Aerys II in her paranoia and willingness to use wildfire. Jaime's emotional arc moves away from Cersei. The image of him killing the woman he loves to save King's Landing would mirror his greatest act. But I do believe that this time he will be too late. Like, something will happen with wildfire towards the end with Cersei. I do believe that. Either if that's a different issue, but either if it involves Arya or anything like that, I'll probably make another episode about that. We'll see. Anyways, I do believe that's gonna happen, but that would be the most tragic and thematically accurate and satisfying outcome for Cersei and Jaime, because they literally say pretty much to through the entire books, that they shared a womb, they were born together, and that they are destined to die together. So I do believe that Jaime will kill Cersei, and that eventually Jaime will die because of the wildfire or something like that. Like, this is just speculations, but yeah. Now, obviously, Tyrion Lannister would be the obvious answer, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I really don't think so. Even though Cersei spends her entire life believing that Tyrion is destined to kill her, because he literally is her younger brother, he has threatened her in the past, and she blames him for literally everything. Her mother's death, by the way, was not his fault. Yeah, Cersei, you're crazy. Her father's death, she is right about that one. That's his fault. But yeah, she literally blames him for everything that goes wrong in her life. So yeah. It could also be someone else's younger brother. Maggie never says your, like I said earlier. She never says your little brother. She says the Valonqar. This opens the door for characters like Euron Greyjoy, who is a younger brother, Victorian Greyjoy, Sandor Clegane, who is a second son, and I just want to point out why this prophecy matters, because she literally hates Tyrion. She accuses Marjorie of adultery. She trusts absolutely nobody. She desperately hangs on, even clings to power. Like, it's almost insane how much she clings to her position. It seems to be even more important to her than her own family. But like I've put at the end, I'm gonna stop here because otherwise it's gonna get way too long. My interpretation: the strongest person, I believe, is the right person to fit this prophecy remains Jaime. He's literally Cersei's younger twin. His character arc increasingly places him in moral opposition towards her. And George R. Martin, often favors ironic symmetry. Yeah. If Cersei, Jaime killed a monarch to save the realm, who was obsessed as well with wildfire, and Cersei is often assimilated to wildfire, like her eyes burned green like wildfire and stuff like this. Like, yeah. So if Cersei descends further and further into madness and paranoia and threatens King's Landing, forcing him to stop, her would complete that tragic parallel. That said, the book have not yet revealed the identity of the Valonqar. Well, until the Winds of Winter and ultimately A Dream of Spring, we will not know who the Valonqar really is. We can only speculate. But the prophecy remains unresolved, like some of the prophecies that we already know has happened, like the Red Wedding and stuff like this. The death of Balon Greyjoy by a faceless man, that we know that happened. Anyways, that George R. R. Martin has intentionally left ambiguity and multiple plausible outcomes and interpretations, at least, into the next book. There you go. That's what I wanted to talk about today. So, thank you for watching, and this was MaïTalking. Thank you, geeks, nerds, and everybody else for listening and watching this episode. I will come back later, probably next week. We'll see what time I have, with another episode on prophecies in A Song of Ice and Fire. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, leave a like if you like this video, leave a comment if you'd like to share your own interpretation. Do whatever you want. This is up to you. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.